I'm Joey Hollywood, and welcome to the first official episode of 50 Movies in 50 Weeks, the Sci-Fi Invasion, where I am going to try to tackle all 50 movies that's included in this Mill Creek collection. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. If you watch the introductory video, I'm using this to get back on the horse of YouTube because I've been away for a little bit. The first movie on this set was Brain Twisters from 1991, a year before I was born. And I'm not sure if you can tell on this. Can you see it? Yeah. I actually wrote a lot of notes on this one. And in retrospective, I probably shouldn't have, considering what the Sci-Fi Invasion 50 movies thing is now. I was going to do more editing on this, so I was making notes for myself to intercut and do jokes and stuff, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm just trying to get back on the horse. I'm not trying to create a whole workload because I need to allocate that time for bigger projects. So my notes aren't that super helpful here. One thing that stood out to me was I really liked the cheesy music in this, or the very, very 90s-ness of it all. The biggest problem with the movie, though, and this is why I haven't started off with a synopsis of what the movie's about, because usually that's how I do my reviews. No. I actually didn't know what was going on in this movie until like probably an hour into it. There was just a lot of like interplay between students. I didn't quite understand who the main character was. I initially thought this one teacher who had the charisma of a plank of wood. I initially thought he was the protagonist, but clearly he wasn't. By the end of the movie, ends up he's the villain, the mad scientist, but that was so poorly telegraphed earlier in the movie. And then I couldn't really tell who the main character was. Not just because all the men in this movie look like Dustin Diamond, but just because it just introduces people and you're like, okay, is this the main character? No, he died. And that was just a constant problem. There's several parts of the movie that feel almost like a giallo, you know, the black glove killer going in and doing stuff, but it never quite gets to that level. I mean, like, there's this weird air of like, you're not quite sure where the logic is in these things, which is a benefit to a giallo, but to whatever this movie is trying to be, it's a detriment because, like I said, I didn't know what was going on in the movie till an hour in. Maybe that's partly my fault because I went into the movie blind. But in my opinion, you should really get the reins on what a movie is in the first 10 or so minutes. Unless it's a very special case. You know, there are directors that I could trust with that sort of thing. Whoever directed this clearly isn't. Which brings me to the point that when I was looking up this movie on IMDb, apparently there's a director's cut of this film. And I considered searching for that and watching that. And after seeing the movie, I hope to never see this movie again. It really, really sucked. I'll get into the synopsis now. The synopsis is that a mad scientist, played by the bland actor I was talking about, the plank of wood, he has a device that's basically just a TV that these people are wired into, and it activates a violent part of their subconscious, and they start killing people, and that's the movie. Yeah, it's not breaking new ground or anything. It certainly seemed like the kind of movie that I would catch in the early 90s on a Saturday afternoon. So there was a little bit of nostalgia factor in the fact that I kind of enjoyed it. But yeah, as a movie that's to start off like a series, not great. However, I was thinking when I watched it that if I was doing like my old shtick where I do comedy reviews, this would have been a perfect candidate for that. Outside of that, I don't think the movie has a lot of merit on its own. It's certainly not the kind of bad movie you could watch with a group of friends. It's not funny or weird enough for that. But I think it's the kind of movie that would benefit from a comedy style review in the vein of like what I used to do, or perhaps like who does comedy reviews still? Oh, the Cinema Snob, something like that. Yeah, I think that's all I really have to say on it. Sorry the video's so short, but yeah. Have you seen Brain Twisters from 1991? What are your thoughts on it? Do you disagree with my opinion that the movie doesn't make any sense and is kind of lame? Or do you have like a... Do you love this movie? Specifically, if you love this movie, let me know. I'm interested to get in your head. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I'm Joey Hollywood. Please be kind and rewind.